Coach, it's 5 o'clock. Before we starting, I would like to say thank you for your acceptance to share with us your ideas about forming the team and determination criteria for evaluating real value of a basketball player. And if you are ready, I think we can start. If you want.
Just a second. Okay. Everything is fine with the sound.
Yeah, everything is good. We can hear it.
Okay. So first of all, hello everyone. I hope you are doing well in this period and you are preparing slowly to start again with the basketball activities. I hope really to this soon. I would like to say that in terms of subject, what topic, what I want to talk, honestly, I wanted something which will be a little bit different from this what we saw until now, which was like more like cathedra. But unfortunately, something which will include some videos and good presentations of, I don't know, some tactical stuff, pick and roll or something which is popular or in trend. But I mean, we realized that Zoom is not supporting the videos so good, so chopping all the time. So I practically gave up from this idea. Then I wanted to operate with some diagrams, but also I think that I could be in that case more selective to some coaches and less good to some other group of the coaches. So I also gave up from this. So in the end, it will be some kind and type of PowerPoint presentation, and I hope I choose something I hope can be interesting for everyone. I mean, I will try to explain things from the aspect of the senior basketball, but I think also coaches of young ages can use constructively things what they will see today. I will try also to talk more about basketball and situations what we meet in everyday life, because anyway, this presentation really I can share with you if you are interested after the clinic, so it will not be a problem. So maybe from some things like criteria for evaluating the real values of the players, we will get later, and you can see the numerically everything what I'm preparing to look when I'm selecting the players. But I will try also to touch some other things which are important in today's basketball. Regarding the subject, how to form the team, I can say to you that this is a really constant dynamic process, and you can lead that process how you want or how you can, depending also from your resources and depending also from different circumstances or reasons, you can create that process a different way. Forming the team can be different. Also, you can create a team for forming you can form the team for longer period or for short-term period. Of course, idea of having the team for a longer period is something what every coach will prefer to have, but the nature of our job that really we don't know how long we will be on one place is forcing the coaches sometimes to think just about the short term. And I can say really in my case that I had luck that I'm here where I am, and I had support from my club, and we could create something on a long term. You can, for example, when we are talking about the full formation of the team, you can start on time, you can start late, you can adjust your formation of the team during the year, depending really from every possible situation. There are differences between how you are making, how you are forming the team for the national team, for professional club, for the young ages categories. But all of us, I think, at the same time, we are in some creative process, in constant building, rebuilding, integrating the new players, new staff members. We are reacting on injuries. releasing the players, changing the players. We are dealing with the conflicts all the time. We are dealing with a lot of unpredictable situations. So it's constant dynamic process. And yes, I mentioned also the conflicts are part of that process. It's not easy, but I look at the conflicts like part of the progress. To get back a little bit, if I'm talking about young selections or young ages, I think also sometimes the process of selection and forming the team is not pleasant. Sometimes it's not fair. Sometimes it's eliminatory. So immediately when you eliminate somebody, it's not pleasant. Sometimes it's discriminatory. So you are making some kind of discriminations. You are not making it by default. It's discriminatory because you have to deal with this because sometimes we have discrimination with the biological maturity of the players. Some players are mature later, so they're getting this biological maturity later. So sometimes they're on the side. Sometimes we eliminate players at the start who are like biologically mature earlier, and simply they can also play. But we say, okay, this is not a player for the future. Sometimes we are speaking about economic discrimination. So some parents, they can finance the practicing process of the kids. So some cannot. Some players, some sports are expensive. Some are not, and in some sports you can get opportunity even to resolve your existence with the doesn't matter getting the contract or studying in the States or finishing the college or whatever way, but elimination by default is not pleasant. So when we are speaking about young ages, coaches and senior teams, all of us, we are in same dynamic process, and it's not easy, but you have to be involved in all of this. When I'm forming the team, when I'm thinking about my foundation, definitely I think I'm not the only one. We are selecting competitors. This is on the first place. We are looking for good persons, and we are looking for the player who has a great working ethic. If possible, we are looking for some desirable personality traits. So individual psychology is very important. So if I can say like this, and to exclude some things, this is maturity in my opinion, on the first place. They are secure and safe persons who are mature. We are looking for persons who are optimistic, enthusiastic, who are in emotional balance, who has charisma, who has empathy. These are some connotative characteristics of the players, and maybe I will share to you. I will say to you even bigger list of this what I'm trying to look for when I'm thinking about selecting the team. About cognitive characteristics, of course, it's important. We are thinking about players who can understand the game, players who are creative, who, let's say, have a good or normal high intelligence or IQ, especially sport IQ. And sometimes you have situations that the good persons, even with the not highest IQ, can be good part of the team because they are relaxing effect in any serious team. You know, so sometimes we can laugh or we can have fun with certain situations. So it's also sometimes desirable to not to be super intelligent. So somebody who can understand the game, of course, it's really desirable. Another sociological part of an aspect of selection is if a player can interact with the teammate. So this is something which is very important, and I will take a chance to say to you, all of us who are coming from area of former Yugoslavia, we can say that one of the leaders and first coaches who made impact in European or world basketball was Professor Alexander Nikolic, and by his words, the best player is the player who can perform the best and who can be efficient in interaction with teammates. It's not just good player who can do it good, but just who can interact with teammates, who can respect team values, and just player like this together with his teammates, can reach the full potential. So I can say, when I'm saying, like, if somebody fits the team or the system of philosophy, sometimes we are saying to the agents when we are negotiating about the player, and somebody is like surprised if I'm not interested for some player or somebody, and I'm saying, like, player need to fit to philosophy or simply to respect some core values of the team. So, just we who are inside of that subject, we can fully understand what does it mean when somebody can fit the system and interact with the teammates. All of those values are important. So when I start with selections, so I'm saying, like, all of these things, what I said, like good personality and competitors. You have contact with you can have contact also with the players before you select them, but also when you select them. But actually the process of forming the team starts with the practices and with all of this stuff that you are doing, for example, during the summer when I'm talking about the senior teams. And you're trying to implement the idea of trusting the process. This is very important when we are talking about the players. And it's not starting just with motivational speech and you are saying to the players, okay, we want to be good and our goals are like this and we want a lot of things motivationally to promote. I think practicing and the process of practicing in everyday life will make that process that they will understand this, and with this we start to build foundation for forming the me personally, I always have goal to have, if I can say something like this, double success. In my opinion, I can evaluate the season just on this way, and I think this is important. Maybe this is my personality, but maybe I'm in that position, but I can really evaluate my season just by two things, and this is why I'm saying double success. One success if you can reach the team goals, so to reach some results and to play the finals or to win certain trophies. And another aspect is to be successful in improving individual qualities of the players. Maybe we are thinking about overachieving, but simply this is how I want to work and this makes me happy. So if I'm evaluating my season, if one of these things are not there, so if my players didn't improve individually, or if I didn't reach some goal, then I don't evaluate this season like successful. So this is how I think that I could present something like this to forming the team. I can say also that I have to separate potential quality of real quality. If you can understand me, I will explain it that potential quality is connected with something what players learn, so with their skills or with genetically motoric abilities what they have or abilities what they are developing, but it's something what potentially they have to play. But real value and real quality is something how they can perform on the game, so how they can apply certain skills at the game. So this is where I separate potential quality from the real quality. We have a lot of players, sometimes you are making mistakes, we bring the players look great, especially if you are looking the highlights, they are looking really great, and then you bring them and you see that this is not so often. And we say this, like we have player who is great 1-on-0, but he cannot apply the skills on the game. So it's very, very important not to develop players to be really great 1-on-0. They have to, all the time we have that story about decision making, and everything is connected with decision making. But imagination, creativity, and everything what players can have to apply certain skills and their abilities on the game are very important. We don't want, definitely. And I had that situation in my life a lot of times that I was practically disappointed. Somebody looked perfect on the practice, doing things technically 1-on-0 perfect, and then come on the game, nothing. So we have to think really that to develop the players who can apply the skills. Don't be afraid from this dynamic structure of basketball team. We constantly have to resolve the problems. And actually, I can say that, in my opinion, there is need to be somehow ideal balance between individual and team interests. You cannot totally exclude great individuals, but there is constant and consistent conflict between personal, individual interests and team interests. So some person individually, they want to dominate comparing to the team domination. And I think you cannot exclude that individuals, but because they are important, especially, for example, like in a leadership position, leader positions, or in the crunch time situations during the game. I mean, they are simply important, but we have to teach them to accept the real team values. And in that case, that team will have good function. They will be good team with a winning spirit. Because if we have two silent teams without conflicts of interests, that team will not reach winning spirit. Never, because you know if you have conflicts of this individual and team interests, then certainly for sure you have ambition and motivation. Just you have to teach them how to incorporate everything to the real team values. Before I start to go more like in other things to show to you, I don't want to say, of course, that all of these things is perfect what I'm saying, and but it's personally, and me personally, I'm touched to this criteria which I will explain to you, connected mostly with the basketball skills. But I wanted to mention in introduction how important all of these small things are for selecting and forming the team. If you are interested, of course, I can share this criteria with you. But you know, I can share maybe to you, and I can say to you some of these things which I mentioned before from individual psychology, which are important before I continue with official presentation. For example, I will talk to you about some individual psychology, what we are looking for, or I'm looking for when I'm selecting the team. So definitely what I mentioned already, maturity and optimism, good body language, having fun persons who can enjoy on the game or on the practice, persons with good emotional balance and intelligence. I'm looking for the persons who can have good ratio between internal and external motivation. So what does it mean? Internal motivation is when you are competitive, when you want to be the best as you can, and it's coming from inside and you want to show everything. And this external motivation is when you are motivated with some outside goals, so to have more money, to have fame, glory, to be popular or something like this. And good ratio between these two motivations are important to have. But I'm saying again, good ratio. Working ethic, persons with infecting passion, who has an inspirational character, who can lead, enthusiasm, empathy, forgiveness, charisma, self-confidence. What else I can say, like focus, honesty. Players, they need to be respectful to the teammates, to respect the authority, to be tolerating persons, to respect discipline. So a lot of things that are there. One thing I will tell you, which is maybe some, I don't know how to categorize it, but ability for certain athletes to camouflage the weakness. You know, this is very important. Nobody can see that you don't feel good, or when you are not playing good, and nobody can see this. So it's connected with the body language, but to camouflage your weakness, it's very important. That refuse to lose mentality is connected with this spirit what we are looking when we are choosing the players. And another thing which are maybe also more important, but maybe you cannot see this before you select the players, and you have to deal with this, is anxiety or some factors what you have to control, and some things you can control and some things you have to accept. But of course, you are looking for no fear persons who are not afraid, but these need to be controlled fear. So, for example, starting fever from the start of the competition, starting fever from the start of the game. If it's not pathological, it's okay. You can make the influence on this. But if it's pathological, that you have more problems, you cannot focus totally on the game, and you know, I'm saying shaking hands, sweating, some stomach issues and something, this is a normal thing, but until the start of the game. When the game starts, you are okay. But if you have more problems, then of course you don't want that kind of player. But this maybe you can just see when that person comes to you if you don't have real information. It's very important, you know, that there are different fears. The player can be afraid from success. They can feel fear from success. This is mainly connected. I sound now like psychologist, but we are trying to be everything when we are coaching. So fear of success is mainly connected with underestimating your quality. Then you are afraid of success. When you normally evaluate your quality, then you are not. But I think we can influence this. So with a good conversation, which is important with the players, you can influence this. Fear of jealousy, fear of what other people will say. This is something what you have to exclude. So these persons who wants to be good on the high level sport, they cannot be like this. So they cannot have this fear. And fear of going out of the comfort zone is something what we can experience today with the young players. They like to be in the comfort zone, and without going out of the comfort zone, there is no improvement. So this is something what we have to have. So I can say that you know, I will start now with these things to explain to you exactly criteria of evaluating the players. So I will share my screen now with you. So I hope you can see.
Yes, we can see.
So we are separating things in defense and offense. So here I put criteria for evaluating real value of basketball players, and I'm thinking, of course, about the, if possible, high level of value. So for the basketball, for high level basketball, not for average. Of course, we are there where we are, so we are preparing our teams or our players for the competitions where we are. But this, I think everybody needs to have that goal. And I'm attached to this criteria, and I'm trying to follow this with some kind of my rules, and I'm trying to be attached to this. So on one side, we are evaluating defensive skills in transition and on the half-court defense. So I will maybe go faster through this just to read it, and then shortly to go maybe to everything. But I have time maybe to touch some other things. So ball pressure level, positioning in defense, helping in defense, communication, defending screens, efficiency, shot blocking efficiency, stealing the ball, low post defense, and some exceptions, which you will see later, defensive rebound efficiency, transition defense efficiency, ability to defend multiple positions, crunch time defense, and after the timeout defense. These are some things what are important for me. So you can see it like almost like a scouting report when you evaluate the value of the players, and this is how you can choose them. Or on the other side, for the young coaches, this can be something what you have to teach them to be good when they come to the senior level, that they can play on that level. On the other side, we have also from offensive part, ball control, passing skills, which for me are primary importance, dribbling and penetration with the ball, one-on-one and one-on-two, outside shooting positions, inside shooting positions. So again, efficient screens, but offensively, free throws, receiving fouls, spacing, respacing. We heard this last week from Coach Tanase. Moving without the ball, which is very important. Offensive rebound efficiency, transition offense efficiency, ability to play on multiple positions, crunch time offense and after the timeout offense, and attack switching. So these things are very important when we are making our evaluation. Here you can see some things important. So what are the goals when we are thinking about ball pressure level? And of course, we want to slow down the transport of the ball from front court to the back court. And if you ask me if I can say there are three things which are important today in basketball if you want to have good defense. Of course, everything else you prepare the team and you learn the team, but I will exclude like a few things. You have individual aspect, which is individual responsibility and team responsibility. And in general, I will say from my point of view, from my standpoint, like containing the dribbling, containing the penetration is very important. Closing out is very important, and protecting the rim. So box out or protecting defensive rebound. These three things are the most important things in defense. Everything else you learn. How to steal the ball, how to defend the screens, and this. But without this, whatever you do, you will not have good defense. With this, containing dribbler and protecting the rim and making a good closeout after defensive rotation, it's very important to contain with the good defense. Because I said that I can share this presentation with you later after. I can send by email whoever is interested. I will go slowly to this. You can read also. But to continue with this, so stop the ball movement, disrupting timing, forcing turnovers or rules violation, and the ball pressure level is important because player who is making the pressure on the ball will create on the other side indirectly back selection of pass or shoot from the other side that somebody else can steal the ball, somebody else will make mistakes. So this is why ball pressure is important. Positioning in defense, we are talking about position on the ball side, position on the weak side, and everything we are watching when we are evaluating the players. If they are aggressive in aggressive deny, or they have that habits, or they are really average in aggressiveness. How they are active or passive on the weak side. If they see the player constantly from the help side, see the player and the ball all the time. Do they have the habit to make jump to the ball after the pass, or they stay with the player and they don't move on time? And here I mentioned like individual responsibility of closing out. These kind of things like positioning or ball pressure or something like which is individually before you start to do like a team, you can do simple shell drill to master it, and this is my advice to make it better. Helping in defense is already team responsibility, so we are looking for the players who can perform quick and aggressive with good timing. They have to be ready and to read. They have to stop the player with the ball to score directly, to use the body, and we are looking for the players who can take a charge or offensive foul. Help and recover, and this is moving, help and recover and help and get back and find your player. This is basically spacing and respacing in defense. So you have to move all the time and to find your player and to help on the ball and get back, and it's important to have good helping in defense. What appears like a very important for me, this is unnecessarily help. And we have a lot of situations when we are asking the players, when we analyze the game, why you help? Is it necessary to help when the player is going goes behind the glass or something, and when it's obvious that the player will not finish? Or don't help unnecessarily, or use fake help to produce some pass and possibility to steal the ball. Communication is important for me. I'm always saying be loud and clear. Say at least 3 times help, 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 or deny, 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 or things what are important to say, to be loud and clear. Of course, communication needs to be on time. You cannot be late because they are saying like you said to me, but you said late. You said switch or you help, but it was late. So to be on time, it's very important, and with purpose to know what you want with this help. Defending screens efficiency is important. So we are talking about single or multiple screens and positions for the guard or post players, whatever, different positions on the court. Players, they have to be really able to defend the screens and to have specific techniques to defend it, to chase the player, to follow them, or to go over the screen, or to with good communication to be opened and to go through, or to be able to switch in defense. Whatever they do, this needs to be efficient. We have some stunt screens, if I can say, like when you are doing something on the ball side and you are preparing screens on the other side. So this is important to recognize like weak side screens. This is what I watch when I analyze the players. Ability to defend the ball screen, I think it's like a special topic. This is what I mentioned here. Ball screens are also on different position of the court, middle, side, elbow, corner, or something else. Ball screens can be different: single, double, single drag, double drag, spread pick and roll, or no spread pick and roll, whatever, with the 2 post players. So what I'm looking if and when I'm evaluating efficiency in defensive in defending the screens, for example, if a player has habit for a single tag, so how you are doing this if you are on the ball side, for example, on the side pick and roll, do you tag that player, or if player can respect some certain rules in team responsibility, depends how defense is prepared. We have some pick for picker situation or screen to screener situations, and I want to see defending player is ready when they are switching to cut the primary option. Shot blocking important. Stealing the ball, I will go faster because I think there are also more other interesting things. So we are evaluating everything. So stealing the ball can be directly and indirectly. So directly when you directly steal the ball, different ways. So indirectly when you produce somebody else. Directly blocking is when you block directly your opponent, or from the second, like after the help, after somebody has stopped the defensive player, and somebody else from behind blocks. So here the most important, if we can have efficient blocking to get possession and to open the first phase of pass break. So this is important. Low post defense, defensive rebound efficiency, and I mentioned that protecting the rim is very important. Boxing out and how to catch the ball. Players, they have to anticipate. They have to know individual tactics very good to know where the ball will go, where the ball will bounce. To be short or long rebound, depends on the shooting distance. And especially here, it can be important to evaluate the player if player has ability to make quick, strong, and multiple jumps in shorter period of time. So that player obviously have more chances to grab the rebound, because especially when they are tipping the ball more times. And I can say that there are 2 types of rebounders, so don't exclude them when you are selecting the players, even in young categories. One type of the players are athletic, high jumpers who are cleaning the rim, and they are aggressive, and some positional rebounders who are making the space, so they are pushing on the floor and they are waiting the ball on the ground, but they also exist. So these 2 types of defensive players. Efficient defensive transition. I think it's very important. I don't want to go strictly through everything, but it's important because I think, in my experience, defensive transition, not offensive transition, is making the difference between good and average teams when we are looking at the final result. Players with good defensive transition, for sure, they have also the offensive transition. But there are teams who are good in offensive transition, but very bad in defensive transition. So distinguish these 2 things. Ability to defend multiple positions, of course, it's giving more opportunity to the team. So it's very important. And I already mentioned like crunch time defense or offense, and somebody who is hungry to play defense. After the timeout, defense is important because players you need players who can react good after the timeout when they rest and they know what they are doing. And we go about the offense, ball control. I said, so to keep and to protect the ball. They can keep, so they have ability to keep the ball and to protect it. This is directly decreasing the number of turnovers. When we are talking more, then I can say passing skills. Passing skills are more important, and I said primarily importance because this is the request of the game. If we are thinking about basketball game, we are saying that the game is faster with the pass comparing to the dribble. This is why, for me, passing is from the primary importance. And you have kids, and they need to work a lot on dribbling. But when you come to that level, when you need to evaluate the players, passing skills are really important. You have situation that So I will not go through all of these things, but I will mention, for example, pick and roll passes. So what I look when I look this are pocket passes, can be with closer hand or wide pass, jump pass, hook pass, lob pass, pass after the front or reverse pivot, early pass. So on the slip on the pick and roll when the post player open earlier, late pass when you have some situation when you react later, when you go downhill, when you attack the basket and you have late delivery, and link pass, especially to today, which is in my opinion killing, especially on hedging defense when you have short roll, somebody who can link the other players and share the ball to the next open player. It's very important, and that pass from the hedge to the short roll and then linking other players, it's very important, and I call it link pass. Dribbling variety, so I don't want to mention everything. Maybe it can be important here what I said, that it is important to have good transport, beating press 1-on-2 or 1-on-1 and 1-on-2. So with dribbling, it's possible when you have trap to beat with the dribbling, and these players are like good to have because it's hard to defend. And but of course, my importance are passing. But today, developing the players on the dribbling in one-on-one situation, or you can make a difference between individual aspect or team aspect. So individual aspect, when you are making different variations, then you are making advantage for yourself to finish. And another team aspect of dribbling or penetrating is when you want to connect players to help on you, that you can share the ball to the open player. This is individual and team aspect of dribbling. And especially today, we develop a lot dribbling on the pick and roll, and you know, when you come to the senior level, this is extremely important. For me, outside shooting, we have to make a difference between shooting and scoring, and consistent scoring is something else. So here you have the list like catch and shoot and pull up and coming off the screen situations, what we are evaluating. Inside positions, for me, it's very important to be like field goal percentage above the 55. And different positions under the basket, directly under the basket, low post move, back to the basket, face to the basket, everything, short corner, high post, elbow. This is something what I want to evaluate when I'm thinking about the players, what I want to choose. Here, interesting thing can be efficient screens, which we are thinking that are influencing the team chemistry a lot. A lot of times players are saying like, he didn't set or she didn't set the screen good for me, it was not good, she didn't come, she's too slow, I cannot wait for her. You know, all of these things are important. So this is, I think that screens and efficient screens are making good chemistry, team chemistry. And for me, for example, there is a rule. You miss one screen, it's a sin, it's not good. But you miss the second screen, you miss two screens, it's a bench. No way that I can wait for you to miss three screens. Sometimes you cannot make substitution and to make another player to give chance to play because of that mistakes. But definitely this is the rule. Two mistakes, slow screen, bad screen, no good angle of the screen, walking screen, immediately bench. It's influencing the game, it is influencing the chemistry, so it's very important. Important high accuracy for free throws. I'm looking for the players who have ability to receive the fouls, who can read the game, who knows the time, who knows the score, who knows the personal fouls problems in the other team, who knows team fouls troubles in the other team. Players who are like good in receiving shooting fouls, who can score from this. Players who are really good, extremely good with shooting, receiving shooting fouls and additional free throws. It's good to have that kind of players. Here, big list of moving without the ball. I will tell you what I learned when I was a young coach, when I started to work, is the 36 minutes rule. Probably a lot of you already heard for this, but if you don't, it's not, I think it's not bad to mention again. I learned that basketball game in theory is 40 minutes. And if we put like 5 players theoretically to play all 40 minutes, 20 minutes is defense. So in defense, we anyway play without the ball. In offense, if we split the minutes equally to every player, we will have 5 players sharing the ball 4 minutes. So this practically means that we play 4 minutes. If in theory one player play 40 minutes, one player is with the ball 4 minutes and 36 minutes without the ball. So this is describing the best how important it is to play without the ball and to move without the ball. A lot of things you have to do, and moving without the ball is a very, very important part of my game. And we are playing a lot in transition, in motion offense, and cutting, and moving without the ball is extremely important. About spacing, I will not say too much because it was the subject at Friday. But I want to mention that something changed in basketball lately. And before, when we are talking about spacing, it was the rule that you have to move to see the ball. All the time we are saying to the players, move that you see the ball. But now how the game accelerates and it's faster and faster, we have to say that you have to move that ball can see you. So practically you have to be always before that ball can see you. That, for example, when you follow this corner and opposite side drive or something, to be ready for the drive, even you have to move before the ball can see you, not that you see the ball. Offensive rebound efficiency is very important for me when I'm evaluating the players, because it's super important and it's winning the games. Some games are won by offensive rebound. 2 years ago, we won one game with the offensive rebound of our under 23 player, and I mean, it's not. This is just example, but you know there is a lot of examples that offensive rebound is making a difference between win and loss games, and showing the initiative, the willingness to play, and potential of one team. You can see through this intention to go all the time to an offensive rebound. Offensive transition, again, it's very important. For me, part of this is how I'm evaluating the players is to see if player can recognize scramble defense situations. So when it's mismatching in transition. So it's very important to recognize who is in better position in early offense, because you can score some easy points. And it's important for me when I see player who can go coast to coast, or player who can run with the ball one-on-one. I always ask for my players to consider one-on-one situation like 1-on-0 situation. So don't stop, don't wait for me, don't wait for the coach to say to you to stop. If you have a one-on-one, go 1-on-0. So it's a very important part of evaluation. Playing multiple position is very important when we are evaluating this, and we are looking for that kind of players. Crunch time players, like money time players who can resolve the last second game situations with offenses, who are taking responsibility, who are not hiding. And of course, the same thing with like what we have in defense also after the time offense. If players can keep the focus and go out and execute the game plan after the timeout. So we can see this in other teams. So for example, who is using different platforms can see this. So you can who is using Synergy or who is using Insta-like platforms, you can see how players are reacting after the timeouts, and you can see especially efficiency in this. It's a very, very important that in the decisive moments of the game, players react to it. And another thing which is important is how players are attacking the switching. I mean, extremely important because it's more and more situations like this. And how we can understand the triple switching and new situations like guard is setting the screen, ball screen, or post player is setting the ball screen, but new situations with guards are setting the ball screen. So in general, to make it shorter, my rule when we are thinking about the switching is if player can understand that everything, when we have at least 10 seconds, I want to go inside. When we have less than 10 seconds, I want to play from outside. When we are thinking about switching, important thing can be like offensive rebound, because this is also mismatch. And if you can attack with offensive rebound, can be very important. But also on the other side, you can suffer damage if you don't get offensive rebound, because your small player will run against the post player, and with this rim running, you are dead. So if you decide to shoot from outside to resolve this, definitely you can be in problem if you miss and you don't get offensive rebound. And here I put one note that here I didn't mention zone, and it's definitely something what I am evaluating. But and especially here, I have to say that a lot of teams in Romania are playing zone, or I'm meeting against the zone. So ability to play defensively zone in different types of zone, and to be able to react and to attack the zone is very important. To see the holes and empty spaces to attack, or how to attack the gaps, and to be aggressive. It's very important when you think about the zone. Here I want to share with you some other things, and I want to talk with you about some important things which are like influencing the game today. And this is why I think with the, respecting all of these criteria, what I mentioned, what you could see, or you will see later more closely when you get it, is that there is also a situation that I'm not saying that this is perfect, and this is something what I'm looking for, and you can miss some things. There are players also who are like satisfying all of these criteria. But if I can say they're too crazy, I don't want to take more harder words like idiots or something, they're making a problem for the team. You can have all these criteria good. You can satisfy it, but the team will not play good, so you are in the problem. So try to avoid this kind of situations. What is important for me to mention is like importance of some things, and to decide what is popular, what we want, what we're gonna do. So sometimes we are thinking about this, what to do, what we want to do with basketball. This is also part of forming the team and the ideology or philosophy of us, to see the future, or to have some vision of basketball today. There are two things which are like taking my attention, and my attention is like to these things. How basketball is looking now and how it will look in the future, and specifically in our position, how young players we can integrate in the team, especially regarding the rule of under 23. And today we are meeting with a certain situation, for example, that game is changed. So, for example, when you are looking the highest level of basketball, and we are going closer and closer now. I'm talking probably more about men basketball than comparing to the women basketball, but I think all of us, we have to follow this. Shooting from long distance, from 7.5 meters or 8 meters, is becoming normal. So even on the highest level, NBA, for example, like hedging is dying. So hedging is eliminating. So simply you go hedge because the player is very good with shooting, and you want to stop dribbler. This is something what I want to think, and this is something what I want to open ideas for the coaches. Of course, when you are hedging when you have a player who is not good dribbler, or who cannot pass the ball good. But when we are thinking about the high level basketball, then we are thinking about this, what is possible to do. So in my opinion, there is a trend, or what is popular in basketball to use, definitely not hedge. There is drop, containing defense, and switching. In some cases on the side pick and roll, it's icing, some ice defense on the side pick and roll. And coaches and defensively, they're trying to force players to take middle range jumpers, so to take the shot from the pull up, because it is hurting them less. So they don't want to finish under the basket, and they don't want easy three. And this is what we are thinking in the future, that it is extremely important to have post players with a great footwork who can follow this in-out dribbles, or crossovers from the guards, or snaking, or jail dribble, or something which is very used, much used in today's basketball. And guards who can chase over the screen. to transform the game one-on-one, to transform the game in the situation that you can contest the shot from behind, or at least to challenge the shot to be contested, that post player who is helping can get back faster to the post player, not allow some easy assist under the basket, and to be ready to make box out. This is, I think, very important. This is why even NBA teams, they are not hedging at all. They are making contained defense almost all the time. And switching, for example, in defense, this is something which is our future, definitely. I'm not just speaking about trend of and popularity, because we have definitely to choose what we want to do, or we want to use the players for the certain system, or we are selecting players who can play in our system, or we have players and then we are choosing the system. It's your choice how you will do it, but definitely there are trends and which are compatible with the situation, with the improving in motoric abilities, with the skills of players. So it's very important to know that switching is something what is waiting for us in the future more and more. Somehow I consider switching like a personal thing. You know, the players are fighting against each other. So guards want to prove to the post player that he or she can switch under the basket, can fight for position, to take offensive charge if she or he is late. You know, it's becoming personal. Also, post players, it's personal to show to the guard, I can defend you from outside. I will be better than you. You will not beat me. They are thinking tactically to be closer or on the arm distance, or closer to prevent the shot or to provoke the shot. All of these things are important. And what we have is that now coaches started, everybody wants to find player like Kyle Hines or Draymond Green, player who can play multiple positions, can defend multiple positions. So this is something where we have to put our thoughts when we are thinking about how to develop the players and how to select them and how to improve them. So this is something like containing in defense and switching in defense. This is something what is waiting for us in the future for sure. Some other things are definitely important, you know, when we are thinking about basketball and our stuff. And you know, for me, one special part of selecting players in Romania is related to the rule of under 23. We listened the lecture of Coach Todorov also last week, how to make transition from junior to senior teams. But you know, definitely it's very slippery court, especially for foreign coach. And I can say that it is extremely important rule in regarding of you know, in terms of forming the team and selecting the players. But it's slippery court, you know, like a foreign coach here in Romania. But I think also everybody needs to think similar, because we are thinking about what is the best for the team. So regarding that rule, partially I agree with the rule. Probably it is important that some young players can feel more safe and get a chance to play. But there is definitely conflict between this, how many benefits they can have with getting something like for granted, and damage between this, that you get something from granted and even if it deserve it. I cannot say that it is the case for everyone, but in a lot of situations we have this conflict between this, what is happening realistically in our environment. And we have to know that we are living in capitalism society, so we are thinking about social aspects of all of this. So everybody have value on the market and everything. So you are totally putting this kind of rules in this case is like against the way of life. So to earn more money, to get more incomes from for the club, to get more sponsors, to have more fans, it's very important. And if players can follow this way, then okay, I fully respect this, and I am for this that the young players need to be part of teams, but we have to find a way how to evaluate there. And I think now we have somehow double standards with this, how they are working and what is happening. So on one side we are giving to the one you know, sort of the players something, and even they have like disputable future, and even some of them are quitting basketball. And on the other side we have players from who we are taking something, and they already proved themselves like serious and players who has value on the market. So this is one part, but definitely I cannot generalize this rule, but it is something where what I'm thinking a lot, what is good and how to choose them. I mean, everybody are in different situation and in different position, but we have to put that young players to realize what is important. So important is that they learn, they need to fight for their place under the sun. They cannot get something for free. This is definitely. They need to learn how to gain respect from the teammates or trust from the fans or from the management. They cannot be spoiled. They cannot be protected in a way how they think that they can be protected. Because even who has kid, you know, I have kid. I don't want my kid to be protected. I want that my kid find a way how to show that she's good enough. So I think that everybody needs to think like this. I think that young players, they have to accept the challenges and to go out from the comfort zone. Out from the comfort zone is important because only like this you can improve. They have to learn how to accept the roles in the team and to respect the values of the team. You know, accepting the role to play from the bench or to have minutes to make substitutions for somebody who is important is very important. Maybe they cannot understand this. Maybe they cannot learn this from us, from coaches. But you know, popular culture is like this. Maybe they will learn from this Netflix movie what we watched, everybody Last Dance. So they could see how important it is to have best six men on the bench, like Tony Kukoc in Chicago Bulls, or somebody who is important and is giving really important thing for winning the trophies. Certainly, you know, I cannot agree that the goal for this player can be to sit in the corner. I think that players need to be involved fully in the game, but they have to learn how to sacrifice, to interact with the teammates, to interact with the coaches. They have to learn how to be confident, to be polite, and to know how to communicate. They have to learn what does it mean to have confidence, real confidence. They need to learn that it is important to be consistent, emotionally stable, and maybe they have to learn also that it's important to feel sometimes bad situations that you will become better. So failure or elimination sometimes is very good to improve. I think young players, they have to learn to be patient. Also coaches with them, because there is you know 10 years process for sure to become mature enough to play with instinct. And I don't think so that young players will need special benefits, you know, or status or minutes or something if we are working good and we are sharing our knowledge with them without empty words or stuff like this. I think it's important to learn them what is the good relationship between internal and external motivation, and that they have to be motivated really to produce the most of them. I have my experience also, and maybe my experience with the work also with some veterans is starting a long time ago when I started my professional career. I had the opportunity and the chance to work in my first year like professional coach with the 3 silver Olympic medalists. And they showed to me what does it mean to be professional, and they never complained. They were always first to do something. They always show by example how somebody needs to work. And you know, maybe from that period when I was 27 years old, I had a chance really to appreciate veterans, but not veterans in a way that they are just older players. Veterans, mature, secure, safe players, consistent players who knows what they want, and they always do and they always perform well regardless of the situation. So even if they are not in the mood, or if some other circumstances are influencing them, they are ready to perform well. So this is why I have huge also respect for the veterans, but I think all of us, we have with our knowledge to influence young players to become better and better. How to make it? You have to find a way. I'm trying to respect the rules, and I'm trying really to find a way how to influence my players, but it's up to you to find the best possible way. So this is something what I had and what I wanted to present to you. If you have some questions, you can be free to ask. If I can answer, I will answer. And this material, what I said, I will share with the Association of Coaches.
Hello, coach.
Yeah.
Hello,
I'm not hearing well, but
do you hear me?
not the best. Try again.
Now you hear me?
Yes.
So, coach, I have a question. When you are making your team, or you made your team in the past, are you taking care of the budget? Like you have, I don't know, a tactic according the budget to make your team, like, I don't know, 40% to give to one very valuable player, and I don't know, to bring next to him on 20% of the budget or something like that. Are you using tactics like that? Let's say tactics, or I don't know, way of spreading the budget.
I mean, you know, here in the this what I said, what I presented, I even didn't mention the budget.
I know. That's why I asked you.
All of us, we are in the different positions, and this is definitely part of our life, of our lives. I was personally in situation to play a lot of time against the teams with the bigger budget, and of course against the teams with a smaller budget than mine. When I'm selecting the players, let's say that my experience is like this: that I know what is the amount of money what we can spend for the team. I'm talking now about senior level.
Yes, of
winning
course.
The championship team. I never split the money in that way. Okay, I will take a superstar or something. I always think about these players who can trust the process. Sometimes some of the players are like, you can find player who will trust the process and who is not expensive sometimes, and usually it's like this: more expensive players, they trust the process. This is why they are the most expensive. But to choose, let's say, half of the budget for 2-3 players and the rest to complement with them, no, I'm trying to find the players who can fit in general with the budget. And of course, I'm thinking about full number of the players which I can use, because playing 2 competitions, how we are playing, Euro Cup and domestic competition or domestic championship, it's very important to have a roster with more players who can play. So definitely, it's in some way playing another competition is giving you more quality and value, that you can reach more, you will become more better. But I'm splitting the money on the players which I want. So sometimes it's very important to know. Sometimes it's difficult also when you are talking with agents. Like you are saying to them, simply she's not fitting in my system, or she's not fitting in my philosophy. I don't see her interacting with my player. Somebody cannot understand this, and I take player which is. I had, for example, here situation in Romania a lot, 6 years, that I had totally different system. My first year in Romania, for example, I played with 2 bigs. I had, by name, doesn't matter, Stephanie Murphy and Florina Pașcalau. So we played with 2 bigs. Next year, we played with 3 small post players, but small post players who were really good inside. So we had Shanta Evans, Amanda Thompson, Kim Pierre-Louis, not outside players to play small ball game who will shoot from outside. After that, for example, one season we had a real distinguished like 5 and 4. Then one year we had 3 post players, position 5, and 1 5 who can stretch the defense fully, like shooting for 3. So different type of teams we made, and simply sometimes because we are in Romania, we are not, you know, when players are choosing where to go, they want to go in France, in Spain, in more like recognizable leagues, and then sometimes we are choosing the players what remains for Romania. So we have to be aware of that situation. So sometimes it's not possible always. How many times I have situation that I see some player who is really perfect for my system. I see this perfect interaction with my teammates, but it's not possible to take because Romania is not first option for this kind of player. So a lot of things influencing this, but I'm not making the team thinking how much money I will share on one part of the team and how much on the other part of the team.
I understand. Thank you.
Coach, I have a question from the chat. Is from Christiana Kim. His question is if for really you analyze or those criteria.
What if I'm really stick with it?
If you really analyze all those criteria you show us.
I think that I think that I already mentioned that this and it's writing in the name of the topic. It's like a real value of basketball players. And now I mention also that it is not possible always to have that players regarding the budget or regarding your possibility. But if I'm looking for the players, of course, that this is something what I like. I'm looking on these criteria definitely. But it is possible what I said that the player can have all of these things. But on the other side, it's too crazy that I choose that player. And there are players also, because I know, for example, that I choose the players without shooting abilities, but they are great in penetration. They are making great decisions. They are making, they are really great, like inspirational characters. They can lead the team. It's not always possible to have everything. Of course, this is the highest criteria, because I mean, maybe I forgot to say that you can make a difference between selecting the players for playing for the national team, or playing for Fenerbahce, or playing for Šepčíček, or playing for Oradea, or playing for Cluj, or for some other team. We are not, all of us, we are not in the same position. But criteria in general are for the high level basketball team. So if you can make this, I think these all criteria you have to respect. But definitely it's not possible to have player who is, like if you have player who is good shooter or who can score from outside, I have that kind of player, for example, great scoring abilities, but bad dribbler. Mm-hmm. But imagine the situation that that player can be great passer, can be great dribbler, can be great shooter, can defend multiple positions. Of course, the price on the market is higher. And I'm looking for this criteria, but of course, I'm not fully stick with this, that I will exclude one player who is, or somebody who cannot have everything. Of course, it's not possible to have everything, but to have some information and to suggest me what is good to have, I will always try to look this.
Yes, thank you.
Coach, hello, I'm Mihai from Deva. I also have a question for you. What's your opinion on juniors about failing early, and how you manage that?
I mean, depends from what is the reason why they fail. Expectations were too high, or simply they are not good enough.
No, like losing games. They are okay with technique, they are good with shooting, but losing games early, and a lot of them.
I think it's very important that we understand with the young players, and I think that it's something what we can influence, because that fear of losing the games potentially can create some conflicts or conflict in personality that the person can quit. But with our knowledge, we have to make influence on them, to explain them that the result in young ages, in young categories, is definitely not important. You have to develop players. And if they know that this is the final goal, to find the way to play senior basketball on the highest level, they cannot be disappointed, and they cannot feel that pressure. They will be that disappointed to quit playing basketball, or they feel something bad. I think even the owners of the schools, basketball schools, sometimes are making a pressure and putting the pressure, same like the owners or management of the senior teams, that result is important. But for young categories, putting that pressure, you have to make a difference between this. This is developing the players. This is process. Don't be sad, or don't lose your confidence because you lose. Because we trust the process. You want to play senior basketball. You know how many times it happened that some players. I will tell you an example. I heard this. It's not something what I invented. Sasha Djordjevic, who was the national team coach of Serbia, coach of Virtus Bologna, he was playing before, and he was selected later just in Partizan Belgrade, and he was playing for the young teams in some other team in Belgrade. And his father was also coach, but he came to Partizan later, and he never won the medal in some young categories, but he was like the most important player for the national team of Yugoslavia and Serbia. And in '92, when he was 20 years old, 21 years old, 22 years old, I don't remember now exactly, he won with the buzzer beater almost the EuroLeague game for Partizan. He never reached something. What we could say that he could quit earlier because he was losing the game. Obviously, somebody give him good instructions not to lose the confidence because of losing the game. So emphasizing on what is important is trust the process. Go to the senior level and play basketball later is more important than losing the games in the young ages. So if you can control this, I don't think so that the young player will be so much like bad feelings.
Okay, thanks.
Somebody else, if not, you can even send the questions. I can communicate with you and answer the questions. If not, I want to say thank you for your attention, and
thank you.
I really wish we come back to the basketball court soon, and to have a healthy next season, and everybody to have opportunity to enjoy basketball again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you give us your mail address or something to contact you?
To share it with you, to send you to you, and or to
yeah. If you send me, I will put on Facebook.
Okay, I will share my email address too.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. It was very nice and very interesting.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, coach.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Boom.